I'll let you into a secret. While I was considering the angle for this video, the best way to present the 2023 Street Triple R, I thought about doing a head-to-head comparison with the Honda Hornet I rode 2 weeks ago. Yes, different budget, big difference in power on paper, but the Honda beat the Trident in my last head-to-head, and so I thought it might stand the test against a bigger bike. I'd even begun work on the thumbnail. Yeah, then I rode it. The first time I'd been on a Street Triple since selling mine a couple of years ago, and I'd forgotten just how good it is. The Honda's good, but oh my god, this Triumph is in a different league. Triumph Algarve have got their demonstrator bikes in for the new season, and they invited me along to try the latest iteration of the Street Triple R. They've also got a Tiger 1200 and a Rocket R, a Tiger Sports 660 and a Trident. So if you're interested in test riding any of these, give them a call. Now, as I mentioned, I haven't ridden a Street Triple since I sold my 2017 RS about 4 years ago. So I was very keen to get back on one and see just how they've evolved. It looks very similar, still that familiar slightly menacing crouch that makes it look as if it's going 100 miles an hour before you even start the engine. €10,850 here in Portugal for this silver model, a couple of hundred more if you want the white. Pity they don't offer the R in the same red or yellow as the RS, but that's marketing for you. You want the nicer paint jobs, you get the more expensive model. So what's it like to ride? Well, in a word, fabulous, if you like your bikes to give you a thrill a minute. The engine's a real peach, one of the best I've tried. It revs up even more keenly than its bigger brother, the Speed Twin. It's not brutal like a litre sports bike, but it's the coherence of the whole that strikes you. It really comes alive around 6,000–7,000 revs per minute. Then at 8,000 you get the first stage rocket boost. Second stage kicks in at 10,000 and it takes off like a missile. I'd hesitate to say it's an easy, accessible bike given the power. Maybe not the best for beginners, but it does surprise by how natural everything feels. It's a slim bike physically, but it never feels skinny or unsubstantial. There's less bike than with the Speed Triple, but I didn't find it too small for me, as I had done, for example, with the MT-09 or the new Honda Hornet. Perhaps lithe would be a better way of describing it. If it were a person, it would have a body fat index of 0, and all this makes it peerlessly flickable. The front brakes are the same M432s that I had on my 2017, excellent but slightly less progressive than the Stylimas that come with the Street and Speed Triple RS. But the rear brake is identical and allows you to turn the bike in with scalpel-like precision on the road. Comfort? Well, you don't really choose a Street Triple for comfort, but it's acceptable. You're canted forward a fair bit, but the riding position didn't strike me as overwhelmingly sporty. Getting straight off my Speed Twin, or even compared to the Honda Hornet I rode a couple of weeks ago, and which I felt was almost tipping me over the bars. I'm too old to go long distance touring on a bike like this, but you could strap some SW Motec Blaze panniers on the back, as I did in the day, and cover a few hundred kilometres in relative comfort. I have to say I'm disappointed by Triumph's choice of clock. They've lifted it directly from the Tiger Sports 660, and I didn't really like it on that either. It's extremely legible and has all the information you want. It just doesn't look very sporty, with those unnecessary white lines pointing to the warning lights that remind me of the blanking plates you'd get on base trim cars back in the 1970s. I asked my dealer why Triumph didn't use the, in my opinion, better looking clock from the Trident, and apparently it's because the one from the Tiger Sport 660 can handle cruise control, which is odd because that's not offered on the Sport 660, much to the annoyance of some potential buyers. Still, it could be worse. The Street Triple R could have been given the full-colour TFT clock from the RS. It looks good at first, but you quickly realise that it's been over-designed and is just plain hard to read at a glance. Triumph's clocks have rightly come in for a fair bit of criticism over the past couple of years, and they were supposed to be getting a major overhaul for this season's bikes, but apparently the global shortage of semiconductors has put paid to this, at least for the moment. Hopefully we'll see some improved designs coming along soon. So what are the other differences between the R and the RS? Well, 120 horsepower instead of 130, the Brembo M432 brakes instead of Stylimas, same forks, but the RS gets an Öhlins STX40 rear shock, 10mm higher seat on the RS, Very slightly different geometry. Weight is down 1 kilo, and you get Continental Conti Road tyres on the R, as opposed to the Pirelli Diablo Supercorsa SPs on the RS. Oh, and the nicer paint colours. Well, I think so. And all this for about €2,400 extra. Is it worth paying the extra? Well, you'll feel the difference in the brakes and the rear shock, and probably the tyres too, but unless you intend taking the bike to the track, then no, it's probably not worth it. That said, I'm a sucker for shiny bits, and I know I'd always regret not having the stylemas and the Olins, even if I absolutely don't need them, not to mention those gorgeous red and yellow paint options on the RS. So, like the gullible consumer that I am, yes, I almost certainly would stump up the extra cash. What about the Moto 2 edition? Well, notwithstanding the fact that they've already all been sold, it's too hardcore for me. While I'd love the Olin's NIX30 forks, I'm not sure the clip-ons would do my lower back any good. So, no, I think I'll stick with the RS, thanks. So, a conclusion. Well, as it happened, Moto Magazine, my favourite French motorcycle channel for bike reviews, reviewed the Street Triple on exactly the same day that I tried it, and Axel Mellerin, the French Michael Neves, was spot on in his analysis. Here you can see him explaining all the mechanical evolutions that Triumph's engineers have managed to shoehorn into the new Street Triple, and he concludes, rightly so in my opinion, that ils n'arrêtent pas de bosser, i.e. they never stop developing this engine. And this is exactly what I meant when I tested the CF Moto 800 a few months ago. Yes, from a distance and even close up, Chinese-made bikes look okay, but as soon as you start riding them, you can just tell that they've only been building bikes for 3 weeks. Triumph, Honda, BMW, they've all been at this game for decades, and you can just feel that. Everything is just how it should be. It feels right, it feels intuitive, it's satisfying, delicate where it should be, handling, and beefy where it should be, the engine. So, am I tempted to buy another Street Triple? Yes, I am actually, despite having the Transalp on order. And on the ride back home, I even found myself contemplating trading in the Speed Twin. But I won't. The Street Triple is ultimately a lot of bike for the money. It's a lot faster than the Speed Twin. But however much I enjoyed that, I don't actually need it. I'd miss the Speed Twin's super beefy torque. That and the fact that I'm irresistibly drawn towards the shiny bits on the Street Triple RS, which is too track focused for me. It's a nice dilemma to have though, and if it's one that you're agonising over, let me know in the comments which one you think you're going to go for. And as always, thanks for watching.